There you are, YouTube. We are big Shyamalan fans in this household, and today is my wife and I's 7th wedding anniversary, so we thought we would celebrate by watching Old, going to the theater and seeing his latest film, which is based off a graphic novel, a French language Swiss graphic novel, I believe is what I had read. And that graphic novel is called SANDCASTLE, singular. It's not called Old. Here, let me just, I think it's brighten this up a little bit. It's not called Old, and I have not read the graphic novel, so I don't know anything about it. I can't give you a compare and contrast or anything, but from what little information I have heard, he has changed quite a bit of it. It's more of a loosely based off of situation. But this movie, Old, so actually let me give you some backstory about M Night Shyamalan and I don't know, my relationship. I don't know, I don't know him, but I really like his movies. The early years, I would say, when it comes to, I feel like I love everything he's done until, Lady in the Water, I think, is his last great movie. Because then he moved on to The Happening, which I think is his only, outside of the blockbusters he tried to make, that is his only bad movie to me. But at the same time, I appreciate it because, he's always swinging for the fences. Swing away, Meryl. And he's always trying something new, something different, something original. Even Old is, loosely based off of. He is trying to make it as much his own as he can. But, The Happening, I don't like it, but I'm happy for him, sort of thing. But then he made Last Airbender, did not like that. And then After Earth, the Will Smith one, didn't like that. So the blockbusters, he needs to stay away from. Or try again, I guess, and see if he can make it work. Find the formula. But the other films, I guess Devil he produced, I think that's a good movie, right? But it's not the type of film that I want to watch over and over again, where Sixth Sense, Signs, The Village, Unbreakable, and Lady in the Water are those types of movies. The ones that I want to put in and watch over and over again. They have a cozy vibe to them. Not all of them. I would say Unbreakable is necessarily cozy. But some of those other ones are, even with the horror aspects to them, the scary sci-fi aspects to them. And let's see, what's the other one? The Visit. I think The Visit is a very good movie, but it doesn't have that cozy quality where I'm trying to watch it over and over again. I have watched it over and over, but more for, just Halloween. It's October, I'm watching scary movies sort of thing, right? So this movie, I would say, falls into that category, like Devil, or The Visit, or Split, I think is great. Glass, I didn't like the ending. I liked Glass, but I didn't like the ending of Glass. So those also aren't ones I'm going to watch over and over again. But this one, again, falls into again, I know he only produced Devil, but Devil, and he came up with the story, Devil and The Visit. I feel like these three are sort of a trilogy. Though at the end of this movie, it does kind of get a little bit, emotional, I guess. But there's something about those early movies that we're not getting in these newer ones. And I think it is just the deeper, more poetic, emotional quality. He does have a specific way of writing dialogue, and I think it works best in those earlier films. It's not a realistic way in which people communicate with one another. It is very stylized, but I think it lends itself better to those more introspective. Is that the right word I'm looking for? I don't know. They just have a calmer stoicism. Is that the right word? I should have read a thesaurus before going over this, but those early films just have a quality to them that I don't think Visit has or Old has. Visit and Old and Devil feel more like episodes of The Twilight Zone, I guess. which is fine, but it's different and it doesn't have that rewatchability quality Like, I like Old. I thought it was good, and I guess here's a spoiler. There is a twist. I thought the twist was pretty interesting, but it doesn't have rewatchability for me. But let's talk about the movie itself. So basically, you have these tourist resort guests that end up on this beach that causes them to rage rapidly, like almost an entire lifetime in a day, basically. And they need to figure out how to get out of this beach. And spoilers here, everybody dies except two people, two of the young kids who aged. We watch them age progressively. They were able to escape and then basically tell the authorities, something fishy's going on here. And then we learn by following M Night Shyamalan's character. Love that he puts himself in his movies. Very Hitchcockian of him, which I think is a cool tip of the hat to Hitchcock, if that's what he's doing. We find out that this island, it does have this ability to age people on its own, just naturally, but it was discovered by people and then decided, like by Big Pharma, to use it as a place to test medicines on people. So basically they're sacrificing a few lives for the many. And so it brings up all sorts of ethical questions about that. And so basically they attract people to this resort, ill people to this resort, and then secretly give them medication and then put them on this island where they are going to age rapidly to find out if this medication has any long-term side effects or how long, is this medication a cure for a problem? And that's what it's used for. Like, Big Pharma is using it to find out if their medications work, if they can cure, or if they have long-term negative side effects. So that was all very interesting. I thought that was a great twist, especially in the time of COVID, where we are fast-tracking all of these vaccines, right? So I was just like, wow, this is timely. When did this idea pop into his head? Because it just seems to fit so perfectly with what is going on now. And like skepticism, I guess, even. And just not trusting medicine. And, science is always changing. So, how can we trust it now when maybe we'll learn something new later or different later? Something works now, what if it doesn't work later? I don't know. So, I don't know. I was very amazed at how pertinent the twist to this movie was to today, right now. That was just, I wasn't expecting that. I don't even know if M. Night Shyamalan was expecting that. I need to look into that. Like, when did he conceive of this idea? When was this movie even start filming? Like, what was it filmed in the time of COVID? Because it's just, I don't know. When that happened at the end, I was like, wow, that is very relevant right now. That was an interesting ending there. But I don't know. It's not really a twist. I think I called it a twist, right? But it's more of an explanation, like why this stuff is happening and why they're trapped on the island, why they're being watched on the island. So I don't know if it's a twist. It's just a reveal sort of thing, where I think Sixth Sense, like, that's a twist. We think Bruce Willis is alive the whole time, and then we find out he's dead. So that's not really what this is. It's just a reveal as to why they're aging, not necessarily why or how, I guess, but why they're trapped on this beach and can't get out, and why they were all gathered there. That is being explained. So yeah, I wouldn't necessarily say it's a twist. It has that twist vibe though, especially, with Shyamalan. That's what we're here to think about. But yeah, I ultimately liked this movie, but it doesn't have that rewatchability or like fantastical stylized feel to it that his earlier films have, that keep me coming back to watching them over and over and over again. Like, I just feel like the poetry that he has in his movies, in those early movies, Sixth Sense to Lady in the Water, doesn't really shine through anymore, and I would like to see him return to that, because I would love to have movies of his where I am putting them on the player, whatever, DVD player, Blu-ray player, and letting them sort of wash over me and really enjoy everything that, you know, he's putting out. Where it's like more horror, I guess. Like the other films may have horror aspects to them, but they're more about like relationships, and maybe that's what's happening here too. But I just didn't care about these characters individually. Maybe it was because it was an ensemble, you know, so I couldn't really focus too much until the very end on specific people, and then, you know, I was like, okay, I'm starting to feel that old Shyamalan happen. But yeah, I think maybe the horror aspect or the Twilight Zone-ness is just a little maybe too high, to where I don't get the emotional impact that his earlier films have. I don't get that with The Visit or Old or After Earth or the Airbender movie. You know, I mean, I don't know, those other two, I don't even you know, qualify them. But same thing with The Happening. You know, it doesn't really have that same emotional impact, I think, that those earlier films have. I think that was just a bad movie, though. This one I don't think is bad. Good movie, it's just I'm not going to be watching it over and over again. So that, I guess, is my review for Old. I like it. I love Shyamalan. I think he's one of the most interesting directors out there, and coming out with great content, even when it's content. I don't want to say that. Great films, even, you know, and original. And again, I haven't read the graphic novel, but from what I hear, it's only loosely based off of. So I think that's kind of fun too, that he's taking this as more inspiration, like a starting point to create something that is his own. But yeah, I liked it, and I would love it if more, you know, people go and see it. I think reviews are positive and mixed. I don't think anybody really dislikes it. I could be wrong. I might just, you know, have the right people in my algorithm telling me that they like this movie. But I've really only seen like stuff on Twitter and stuff like that. So I haven't started watching reviews because I didn't want to get spoiled. And yeah, so on that note, check out the movie, support Shyamalan, because he's a good guy, right? As far as we know. Anyway, he's making good movies. So perhaps I'll see you tomorrow for more Pure Hangout.